chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
I don't know if you guys know of this, there's this music guy that Travis Kelce has been dating, Taylor something or other, but his career is about to take off now that he is dating a two-time Super Bowl winner like Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this
Tyler Swift, right?
This
Tyler Swift. That's it. Tyler Swift. Yeah.
He's taking off. He's going places.
I'm very unfamiliar with Tyler's music. Can you find it anywhere on the internet, or is it kind of is it SoundCloud? It hasn't made it to the major labels yet.
I think you have to know what to type in, but I think you can get it on Spotify.
I'm sure he's got a Patreon.
Oh, a Patreon playlist. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into it. I'm really excited, but that career is really gonna skyrocket. And I hope this Tyler person doesn't bring down Kelsey's Q rating too much. Being associated with such a low level celebrity.
I know Cass is taking off, man. So if Tyler is dragging down his podcast, that's gonna be bad.
A musician and a podcaster. That's a pretty depressing combo, huh?
Oh God, that's terrible dinner party conversation, right? They cannot have an entertaining dinner party. Oh. Is there a worse? Look, I'm glad you guys listen to our podcast, right? And all the listeners out there, it's really important. But the person that knows a podcast for every subject, douche or no douche, it's too many podcasts, right? If I were to say can you tell me about salad recipes? You're I just have the greatest podcast. I'm that's too granular. I don't need a salad podcast. I get it. Everyone loves true crime. Am I just alienating everyone who listens?
Yeah. Well, true crime, you're not allowed to talk shit about true crime.
I'm not talking.
Every female in the world is obsessed with true crime to a terrifying degree.
It's weird, right? It's weird.
It's a little bit weird. It is.
So Serial was awesome. But some of these other ones are just kind of meh. I mean, Only Murders in the Building is a great show. That's not real.
My favorite TikTok was the one where it's the audio was they cut off his arms. It's someone listening to a podcast like that, and it's someone's just doing their normal thing, and you're listening to someone talk about they're listening to their true crime podcast in the office, and you're what the hell?
And this was another episode of Al Explains TikTok.
Al explaining memes.
No, the problem with the women who can multitask while listening to true crime, all things considered, they should look in the mirror and say, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me, because no normal person should be able to do both of those, So
Matt, this is the thing. They're not doing both. They're not actually paying attention to either.
They are the problem, though. It is the problem. It's them.
Yeah. Welcome to ChuggieBets, everybody. I got Danny next to me. I got Al over there. Let's drink some beers.
To all our women listeners, I'm sorry for that segment, but there's none of you. So
we have a few.
I just record.
We know all our listeners by first name, and all the ones that are ladies are my daughters, and they don't know anything about what we just said.
No, my wife listens.
I just got my girlfriends on it. So my friend Lee just downloaded the podcast, listened to our episode last night. I already got feedback. Hell so we're gonna have a lot of Canes related questions coming through.
Oh, I would love that. We can do Canes to go. You have you two just talking Canes, and then Andy and everyone else just boos you guys. Just boo.
Love it.
Just a subtle boo in the background the whole time.
Can't wait to have a podcast fan be why does that guy have a podcast about Canes? He doesn't even know anything. He loses all his bets. He knows nothing about his teams.
You'd be better actually talking about the weather storms, the windstorms. He knows the actual
Noah says, yeah.
We had a great week last week in the NFL. We had a combined record of 21 and 11. 21 and 11. Andy, an absolute blitzkrieg. 8-1. Won his Chuggie bet. I came in second, 5-2. Won my Chuggie bet. Al ended up one game over. Chris did not wager, and Danny was one under. Combined 21 and 11. Look, we're good enough at this. I'm glad you guys are listening. And with that in mind, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, leave a lot of comments. We're very interactive. Follow us on TikTok too. The shit is fire on TikTok.
Just want to throw this out there. It's been 8 weeks of this, and I have not hit one Chuggy bet yet. We have, I believe, 5 college and 3 NFL, and I don't think I've hit one Chuggy bet yet.
We're like,
I'm not saying
like
to fade my Chuggy bet. I'm due, but you might want to think about,
fading your Chuggy bet. Yeah.
Honestly,
we're like 20 games over 500, and we're like 3 weeks into this season. Is it going to go on forever? I don't know. Are we going to go down in flames? We might. But I say keep tailing our picks. We're on to something here.
Yeah, and you know what? Take me out of this, we're even better.
A lot of people are going to be really negative about our picks, and I hear a lot of it, but haters are going to hate, and I'm just going to shake it off, right? We're going to keep everything moving. That's two.
Absolutely.
Bing!
So I do want to talk about something that surprised me today, this past Sunday. Kirk Cousins was down. He was attacking. He was in scoring position. It was 3:45 p.m. and the Vikings didn't win.
He did everything he could, man. He threw for almost 400 yards. Justin Jefferson at 150 receiving and 2 touchdowns or something. It was great. I mean, his performance was fantastic. His team just didn't pull it off.
We alluded to this on last week's pod, but there is nothing more locky than a double-digit Vikings deficit in the 1 o'clock window. You hammer that Vikings live spread. You even sprinkle a little on the money line because it's happening. I don't know what it is about the 3:45 time slot. Like once 3:45 hits, Kirk Cousins has the ball in his hands with a chance to win. It will not ever not happen. The 4 o'clock window, no, he's done.
No, get rid of it.
Don't even consider prime time. Absolutely not. Probably even be better off.
Must fade.
It's like too far between him and church or something. I don't know. It's like.
But that 1 o'clock window, man.
He is coming straight from service, and it's like he's like the prayers are just working for him.
I saw a tweet Sunday morning, and I don't know if I love this because I can't tell if it's a joke or not, but it showed Kirk Cousins walking through, and it said that he gave everyone a heads up that he was going to be sporting the Sears dad line. So he had like his gingham button down and his 5-inch inseam shorts on. And I honestly don't know if that was a joke or not.
If Sears still exists, he definitely has that sponsorship. I don't know if Sears is still around. Someone needed to do
one, and it probably is in Minnesota.
It probably only exists if you search on Bing because there's no way Sears is on Google.
They have one brick and mortar location in the Mall of America.
In Kirk Cousins' house.
I mean, he did have that miss on the goal line stand, which is not like him, and that was kind of late in the game for Kirk Cousins. That probably would have sealed it for him to go up.
That was on T.J. Hawkinson. He should have caught that.
I agree. Did you hear about the deeper part of that play? Was he didn't hear the play call come in, so he just decided to run whatever play he wanted. And that was the play that they came up with. They said it was too loud, which is weird. At a home game, it was that loud, and he couldn't hear Coach Taylor calling the play. So he was just like, all right, let's run this one. This one seems to work enough. And clearly that's the pick. But Brandon Staley, you're lucky this week, bud. You're lucky you have your job still because you lose that game going for it on your own 24th your own 20-yard line, 4th and 1. I love the play call. That was you've been on thin ice for a while. Your ass is going to get fired. Next week, you may get fired. I'm calling it. I'm actually calling my shot. He's fired by Wednesday of next week.
I love the Matt hot seat call.
Yeah, I'm firing everybody. Someone who just got a raise, James Winston. He's back, everybody. I don't know how I feel about it. I love it when Jameis is around, but similar to the Kirk Cousins play where you always bet when Kirk Cousins got a double-digit deficit, you almost always have to fade Jameis Winston, right?
If they have a lead, for sure. But the Saints were up 17-0. They lost 18-17. And he played almost an entire half.
It's fun to gamble on him, but you just got to bet on him throwing interceptions that might be returned for touchdowns, but the other team's going to get points.
Well, he's
going to score you points and he's going to give out points.
He's the best because he comes in there all swaggy, eating W's. He's got that James Dean look in his eyes. That's 3. And he's just the man, but he's just real bad at completing passes in valuable situations.
He's good for getting the ball caught. He's good for making sure the ball doesn't hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say his completion percentage is like 80%, but to his team, it's like 50%.
Yeah, he completes 30% of his passes to the other team for sure. You guys want to talk about a 70 burger? Have you guys ever seen a 70 burger in the NFL before? I feel like no one ever wins.
In the NFL, literally
Dallas
no one
back in the 90s, right?
No one who knows what a podcast is has. I think the last time it's happened was 1957.
I feel like Dallas did it in the Super Bowl. No, did that not happen?
Absolutely not.
Well, the Dolphins lost 6. Jaguars scored 62 against the Dolphins in the playoffs one time. Dan Marino's final game, I believe. Ooh. I remember that. That was a bummer. I think we lost by 48, but I don't really see a team lose by 50 and that the winning team score 70. What a weird game it was for the Dolphins. It was an amazing experience as a Dolphins fan because we didn't even have to do that much. We just ran the ball for 12 yards of play. It was the oddest game I've ever watched. But I can't even explain it. I know the Dolphins are really good, but that's got to be Denver sucks, right?
Denver can't figure out defense right now. Their interior line is bad. Their linebackers aren't able to tackle. They don't have safety stepping up. Their team's just in disarray on defense, which is weird because their coach kind of has Russ playing pretty okay right now. I mean, he's not playing great, but he's playing pretty okay. He's not Mr. Unlimited, but he's like Mr. not completely limited, I guess.
Partially available, Mr. Partially available.
Yeah. By the way, it was Dallas scored 52, so not 70, but that's still a lot of points in the Super Bowl.
I think I saw Mike White threw 2 passes and finished with more fantasy points than like half of the starters or half of the quarterbacks who played this past week.
Yeah.
It was one of those situations.
It was 3 or 4 passes, but it was like 75 yards and a touchdown.
It's just such a fun time. I have never in my life felt so good about being a Dolphins fan. I guess in the last 2 decades, right? Let me put it.
We had Dan when we were kids.
Yeah. I'm saying even with the Jay Fiedler days.
Yeah, we had Ricky.
Yeah, we felt good. It doesn't feel this good where everyone's saying they're clearly the number 1 team in the league. I've never felt like that.
No, there was a time when we had Fiedler and Ricky and Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor and Tim Bowen. We had 9 guys starting the Pro Bowl on defense. We thought we were going to be the best team, but we didn't go deep in the playoffs. So.
Yeah.
Danny, you're the one who sent that crazy text the other day about the stats almost being exactly the same, right? Between this year and last year for Tua.
I sent the 2 screenshots. Yeah, and they are exactly the same number of completions, attempts, touchdowns, and interceptions, and yards. I think all 5 of those, the exact same numbers.
Super. That scares me. As weird as it is, because it's one of those situations. Is this going to last forever? Is it going to go down in flames like it did last season? That's 4.
It's not going down in flames. You know why? Because the one stat that Al didn't put in was how many kung fu classes that he's been taking.
That is very true. It's cherry picking stats.
I will say his neck does look a lot stronger. Not even a joke. His neck looks
he looks thick, man. Tua looks thick with 2 C's.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking good. He's looking good out there. And this is really exciting.
He literally said it in a press conference at the beginning of the year where he was like, I didn't want to put on this much muscle when he was arguing with that reporter. He's like, you think I wanted to be this big? When the guy was saying he wasn't working that hard, he's like, I didn't mean to put on this much muscle. I just was working so hard.
Oh. Did y'all see Tyreek Hill unable to pronounce the word camaraderie?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
No,
He's like, come on, you guys got that
camaraderie.
And they're like, what? He's like, that camaraderie. And they're like,
you guys got that camaraderie.
Oh, camaraderie. And it was very funny.
No, that makes me sad.
It makes me so happy.
I love it.
I do have one really scary question for you, Al. Is Jacksonville bad? Everyone was talking about how good Jacksonville was and how bad the AFC South is. And they were like a runaway favorite to win the conference. I don't know what to do with anything I've seen so far.
So I'll say this. Jags fans are down bad. Like they are hating life right now. Like I
Certainly,
saw
but
the Jags are 3-19 in their last 22 games against the Texans, the Houston Texans.
yeah, that brings up
Somehow
a
the
question.
Texans have their
So,
number.
with how CJ Stroud's played this year, like, would you rather take him over Trevor Lawrence? Because he has not played well this year.
Absolutely not. No.
I don't know, man.
Trevor's still
Stroud's
a
a
guy.
rookie, and he's done nothing but light up the league. And Trevor Lawrence took a little while to get started. He had a good year last year, but like, I don't know, man. CJ Stroud seems like he might be the truth.
CJ Stroud is playing really good right out the gate. He's
On a bad
clearly
team, on a team with
clearly
no
the better
talent.
quarterback in this draft class. QB1 from this class.
God, can you imagine drafting Bryce Young first and then watching what's happening with CJ Stroud when he was right?
Could you imagine being a professional general manager and a guy who cannot pick 500 games cannot make money gambling on a stupid podcast with 9 listeners, knows that Bryce Young is a midget and cannot play in the NFL, just tells you over and over again, I can't believe you're going to take this guy. You should not draft him at all. He shouldn't be picked in the 7th round because he's not going to be good. And then he lines up behind the fucking guard. Oh my God. Like, that guy's not, like, the GM that took him number 1 is not as smart as me when it comes to evaluating Bryce Young. Not everything else as far as football, but that specific thing, I'm so much more right than him.
You got a future. You got a calling.
No, I do not.
Quarterback picker.
Unless quarterback picker like needs to know the tax code, I got nothing.
But I do think the Jags will right the ship. They'll get their act together. I think this is kind of a wake-up call. I think they expected a cakewalk against Houston and didn't get it. I think special teams has shown itself to be a big flaw for that team too. So Jags have to clean some things up for special teams. Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of depth on defense, which will help your special teams. But yeah, you gotta build depth.
So I mean, I'm not pressing the panic button on the Jags, but I think it feels like the sky is falling here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it is early.
Luckily, that's not your team, though, right, bud?
Yeah, luckily. I don't know. It's nice as long as one of them is doing well. I can bounce back and forth. So hopefully, more Sundays than not, one of the teams is doing well.
I mean, my number 1 pick this week is on your team to not score any points.
Should we make some picks?
Yeah, let's get into it. What do you guys say? All right. Let's start off on Thursday night. We got Detroit going into Green Bay. I don't need to say what I'm going to do. I will let Al explain it for you.
Yeah, I'm taking the under. I saw 46 is the total. It's Thursday Night Football. You always take the under. I can give reasons why these teams aren't going to score points, but the fact that it's Thursday Night Football is the only one you need to hear.
Oh, you know what we should do, guys?
What?
We should chug a beer.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Cheers.
I'm not going to do the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. Under 45 and a half or under 46, whatever number you can get. If you can get 46, that's great. 45 and a half is fine, in my opinion.
Danny's going double unit on this one. He is locking it up. Double lock.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the first of many in a row that I might do this double unit Thursday under on. But this one just feels like Love is gonna just shit the bed in this game.
Yeah. Andy is also on this under, and he's teasing Green Bay, who is plus 1.5 right now, up to plus 7.5. And you guys, with sunshine out, I believe that makes our first cyclone.
Let's actually go. Let's pretend this is the hurricane podcast, the one we talked about with the weather, and let's discuss a cyclone, boys. We did it. We're all in. Green Bay
on the under.
Right under.
Just give this one to Chris too. I feel like he wants it.
Sure.
All right, shall we go to Wembley?
I'll confirm him with it before the game.
Ooh.
We got the Toy Story game. Put on Disney Plus and watch this one and watch Woody throw passes to Mrs. Potato Head or whatever the hell they're doing on Disney Plus for this game.
You could cut this out if you want, but we just ordered our costumes for Halloween, and I am, spoiler alert, I'm going to be dressed as Woody.
Hell yeah.
I saw one of my Jags friends, one of them sent a meme that was Sid from Toy Story playing with like dead Trevor Lawrence and like
That's pretty good.
Zay Jones. Like, yeah, it's gonna be ugly. Wembley, man, these Jags games are always or not the London games are always terrible. I'm sorry.
I hate Al's pick here. The pick to go with here is the under because these teams traveling, neither of these teams has been really doing much on offense. Both their defenses have been a little bit better than their offenses. So I feel like with the travel, they're gonna take a while to get started. And then the defenses are going to stay strong throughout the whole game. So I think under 43.5, even though it's a low number, is a good play.
See, Danny, I think you're forgetting something here. You can actually go out and purchase a commemorative Jacksonville Jaguars 10 games in London jacket from the Jags UK account. So these are veterans. This is hardly even a travel day for the Jags. They're used to living in London. I'm laying 3 with the Jags against the Falcons.
That's actually a good point. They know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, I just think, as much as I want to say the Falcons are going to bounce back from a bad showing against Detroit, I think the Jags are the better team and also have something they want to bounce back from, and they're used to playing in London and traveling, all of that. So,
are you sure this game's in Wembley? I thought it was going to be in Tottenham.
Next week's in Tottenham. This one's in Wembley.
Okay.
This is the Toy Story Olympics game, whatever the hell they're calling it. It's always in Wembley when the Toy Story crew is there. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Shall we move on?
Yeah, we can.
Let's go to the AFC East battle for who will be the leader at the end of the day. We got the Miami Dolphins. We got the Buffalo Bills. Spread is Bills' favorite.
Bills have a loss already, though, don't they?
They have one loss in the AFC East.
I guess it'd be head-to-head, so if they beat us, okay.
Yeah. What are we thinking here, boys? Danny, start us off.
I'm not very good at making picks, but if one of them keeps winning over and over again, I'm going to keep betting that team. So I'm going to keep betting Miami until we don't win. We keep covering, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, Andy isn't committing to the +2.5 or +3, but he did tease Miami up from +2.5 to +8.5. I am letting you guys convince
Miami
me
at +9.
Miami bias, so I'm going to take Miami +3. It feels like a spot where the Bills get right, and everyone's a little too high on the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are also really fucking good, and I don't even know why they're dogs in this game. Like, it feels like they should be favorites, even in Buffalo.
That's sort of where, like, I would have avoided the game and not done anything, but, like, then we were underdogs, and I was like, I'm getting points. Yeah.
Wow. Look what you made me do, betting on the Dolphins.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to watch the game. I think it's going to be a really, really entertaining game, and I'm curious to see where the Dolphins stack up with the Bills, who I guess the Patriots are a good defensive side, but the Bills kind of have it all. Right? This is going to be a great litmus test game for both. And it's a shame it's at 1:00. That's the only shame. I would love to watch this in prime time and really get all the lights on it.
The Bills will be the best pass rush we faced this year.
Oh, for sure.
By a lot. And yeah, Von Miller coming around that edge. Like we have our offensive line is much improved over the last 3 years ago. We had not like Tua's first season, he was just getting demolished, and now our offensive line is middle of the league. Maybe a little better than that.
I actually wonder what game I'm going to get this week with the Jags playing early in London and the Lions playing on Thursday night. Like, I might actually have, like, if I get Bills Dolphins, like, hell yeah.
I imagine you're going to get that. I don't know what else. Would you get Carolina in that spot or Tampa Bay? You probably get Tampa.
Yeah, it's always something stupid. Usually there's like an Atlanta game or something, so who knows? But I'm gonna hold out hope that I get the Dolphins game. That would be fun.
I hope so too. Unlike the game we just talked about, we've got a dog shit game. We've got the Denver Broncos, who are 0-3 now, going into the Chicago Bears, where Mike Eberflus is looking at Justin Fields, said, we have bad blood when we used to have mad love for one another, because they used to love it before in the offseason. That was 6, by the way. They used to love each other in the offseason, and now they're super mad. They're all talking shit about each other, and I don't know what to make of the Chicago Bears, but they're looking like the worst team in the league, right?
Oh, yeah, it's stinky. This game, Andy is going out on an island all by himself here, taking the Bears in 3 points. I actually considered this for a minute, but then I realized I shouldn't not be betting on either of these teams. That's the only smart play is to not play at all, right? War games.
My bet that I would have made on this would have been Denver, because I feel like Denver's defense is going to get right eventually, because Denver's defense has just been good for several years in a row. And I feel like they can't be this bad all year. And because Sean Payton has Mr. Unlimited playing at least Mr. Above Average, I think that they should be able to handily beat the Bears, where they're literally firing coaches because their quarterback's complaining about coaching. They're in disarray. So I feel like I wanted to take Denver here, but I ended up passing because I'm limiting myself on my number of picks.
Yeah,
just so I don't end up behind by 1,000.
I would probably play Denver here too. I wonder if there's ever been another time. Now, this is a very limited sample size, and we don't have a stats team where a team lost by 40 or 50 points and was a favorite the next week, because this has to be a very rare occasion that's ever happened.
Yeah, I actually have a play I just made up that I think I like a lot in this game.
Okay.
It's a prop. It's going to be whatever Justin Fields' rushing yards total is over.
Yeah.
I think they're going.
I love the Justin Fields over right now.
Eberflus got called out for being a shitty play caller, and Fields can't dictate his offense, so he said, "All right, cut the boy loose. Go
The dude has
ham."
literally been in Fields. I keep telling them about. I told you guys, Fields needs to be allowed to play, and he's a good player when you let him play. If you get in his head, he's terrible. And he's been bad because they're in his head, and like they're not just letting him play. When he's running around, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's like a super-sized version of DJ Uyunglele. Like, when the ball's in his hands, it's great. When he's throwing it, it's not great.
I can't believe you said that name right.
That seems very hurtful and mean to Fields. I think he
probably does.
It is.
He's a bear.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna see if I can find the actual rush yards number, but let's keep going. I'll just shout it out randomly in like 5 minutes.
Speaking of Al's hate, two teams that hate each other are taking place on the Mistake by the Lake. We got Baltimore going into Cleveland.
This
Al,
game seems so obvious, by the way. I didn't bet it, but while Al's looking up his thing, I'm just gonna give the take that everybody should have. Cleveland is trash right now. They can't figure anything out.
What are you talking about?
Deshaun Watson is bad. He's fucking bad.
He was pretty good last game, and they played really well against
Deshaun Watson is not a good quarterback anymore, and Baltimore is going to come in there and just win this game. So
I kind of like Cleveland in this spot, to be honest. I'm not betting it because I don't have enough confidence in it, but Cleveland's looked okay. They looked pretty good last week.
Yeah, so this is the Ravens didn't cover and the Eagles did, and the Browns did. So it's a get right spot for the Ravens. That's really why I'm taking it here. This line is shorter than probably some people might think, especially because the Ravens have not looked very good. But that's why I'm betting them. So Baltimore plus 2.5, and then Andy's also teasing that up to 8.5.
I like that logic. They were saying that
Deshaun Watson's 22nd in QBR with 46.
Look at
just behind Daniel Jones. Yeah, he was kind of fine against Tennessee.
Tennessee's a good defense, and they were saying the whole game. So my dad was over, so we watched a lot of the Cleveland Browns game. That's where I got a lot of eyeballs on it.
He's at a 46 QBR. Trevor Lawrence, who's been asked this season's at a 41.
They ran empty shotgun sets in order to try to help him because that's where he's most comfortable. And now that Nick Chubb is hurt, it didn't hurt, and their offense looked a lot better running out of those sets. Yeah, I'm sure the NFL will adjust to it, right? The NFL is the best at adjusting, but they may have unlocked something that may see Deshaun Watson improve a bit.
Yeah. They're good enough at running the ball that they don't need him to be
Watson
great.
is a bad player from now and forever, and that's what I want to believe.
Yeah, believe it.
That's fine, buddy. I get that.
Bad people are bad players. That's just the way the NFL works. No good people are ever good in the NFL.
Okay. Let's go Cincinnati.
Tyreek Hill is not a bad person, okay?
He's not a good person. He's not a good person.
That's why I brought it up. All right, now move on.
We got Cincinnati going into Tennessee, where Mike Vrabel may be cutting his penis off at the end of the year. Who knows? I hope he does. I'm kind of rooting for Tennessee because I want to see this come to fruition. If Mike Vrabel did cut his penis off, he would have to throw it, right? What would you do with a cut off penis at that point?
If he's still making that bet, he's got some like Christopher Walken and Deer Hunter vibes going on. Like every year, he's just gonna be like, "If I don't win the Super Bowl, I'm cutting my dick off." It just like keeps going. It's like, okay, dude.
I feel like if you cut your dick off, you have to eat it.
You're gonna eat your own dick.
Al, you cannot say that. I'm not cutting off my penis, but like if it's cut off, like you gotta
You gotta eat it.
Yeah.
You gotta eat that dick.
Eat the dick. All right. Well,
that dick.
Speaking, all right, Al, what are you doing on this spot?
Titans plus 2.5. It feels stinky, but the Bengals have been bad. Titans are going to be at home. Maybe this is the week Derrick Henry reverts to his previous King Henry form. Andy's also teasing this update now. Basically, every teaser leg Andy has, I'm just on the spread originally. So ipso facto, I also like the tease. But yeah.
Basically, Al's betting all of these on a teaser. He just doesn't want to look like he's tailing Andy on the teases.
Yeah. More or less.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't blame him. I'm literally not putting myself in on all of these on the teasers because, like, I'm just not. I don't want to jinx Andy and make him lose them all.
You know, cool all his teasers.
Yeah, as the cooler of the podcast, I don't want to jinx him. Yeah, I actually am on the other side of this one. I'm not betting it, but Cincinnati's figured it out. They're good again. They're going to.
So you're Tennessee on the other side, but you're not betting it. So you're not on the other side.
No, I feel like I should.
Okay, you like the other side.
I guess what I'm saying is I have placed a bet on the other side
okay.
out for the podcast.
Okay.
Cincinnati minus 2.5 is a better bet than Tennessee plus 2.5, in my opinion, because it's not an official ChuggieBets pick, but it's an official Danny's going to lose money on this pick. Cincinnati's figured it out, man. They're playing better now. They played better last week. The defense is good right now, and I think that's what it's going to take to win here. And Burrow's going to start playing better.
We have like a semi-cyclone on this next one.
We do.
Also, Chase is going to lead the week in receiving yards, by the way. Jamar Chase.
Okay, that's who you put on your little office form? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to call it little. I didn't mean to
huge office
your
form.
Thing. Yeah,
it's a massive office form.
Your big veiny office.
It's girthy. Form. It's a girthy office form. It's fine. It does the job.
It's a little crooked, but some people like that.
Yes, he does.
Okay, all right.
All right, let's go to the Rams and Colts. Is Anthony Richardson back, or are we still having the Gardner Minshew experience?
I'm assuming if he's back, he's not playing the whole game anyway because he hasn't done that yet. So
it doesn't matter.
I assume we'll see that beautiful mustache at some point.
You guys want to say what picks you like?
Yeah. Danny and I are committing. We're taking the Rams plus 1.5. Danny's plus 1. Matt and Andy are hedging by teasing them to 7.5 or 7, wherever 7.5. I think you can both get. So Danny, take 1.5. Get the extra half point.
When I placed it, it said it was only at 1, so I didn't want to Sure, I'll take the half point, but I think there's only 1 available right now. You guys got it earlier than me.
Then you're stuck.
Yeah, I think the Rams are gonna just win this game by a lot of points.
Yeah, so I like it.
Bengals defense is back. Rams have played a bunch of hard teams in a row, and I think that Seahawks game is more indicative of what they indicative of. I just want to emphasize the indicative of what they are, and more so than the 49ers game. They also gave the 49ers a run for their money, but the low-scoring Bengals game doesn't really seem like that's what they're going to be. I think that their defense, while decent, is going to be more of a liability, and their offense is going to be what dominates. And I think their offense is going to dominate in this game.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford indoors. It's always a good combination.
That is a good combination. I like that. All right, let's go down to New Orleans. We got Jameis. New Orleans. The old Jameis Winstons are coming into town in Tampa Bay. Look, I love rooting for the anti-hero and Jameis Winston, right? That's 7. But you gotta go Tampa Bay here. Like I don't have any faith in Jameis winning a ball game. I'm really excited to watch this game. I'm going to have this as like the second screen experience, but I don't think he's going to win. Take the points of Tampa Bay.
Oh, this is the second. I mean, I'm watching Miami, but this is my game that I want to watch otherwise because it's Baker Mayfield, quarterback who I love and root for. Jameis, quarterback who I love to watch and I root for, but I know what's going to happen.
You know.
And I'm taking the 3 because the entertainment factor of this game is just too much to not have money on it. And I just want to be focused and I want to watch it. But if hopefully Miami just gets way out in front and I can switch the game over to this and watch the drama ensue.
So I realized after like 5 minutes trying to find a player prop that those aren't out this early in the week. So I didn't have that rushing numbers for Justin Fields over. But another prop I like here is probably a Bucks defensive or special teams score.
Oh, I love it. I wonder what
good, right?
It's probably in the plus 200s, plus 300 range, I would guess.
Yeah, I would think. I feel like Jameis Winston is the king of that scenario, king of the pick 6. So let's hope something like that happens. That would be my lean. If you want like some kind of fun play to throw in here too, but beyond just the Bucks plus 3, which I'm also on.
Okay, I like it. Let's go to a place with plenty of bad blood. We got Washington Commanders and Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles fly hosting, and they are an 8.5-point favorite. Al, what are you thinking here?
Yeah. So first off, I'm going to tease the Eagles down to 2.5. I feel like this is like the Jesse with the Breaking Bad meme. Like he can't keep getting away with it. The Eagles keep winning and they keep looking like dog shit doing it. And this is going to be another game where that happens. So I'm teasing the Eagles down to under a field goal. I'm also taking Commanders plus 8.5, and I'm hoping I middle that somewhere. I think I like the Commanders bet more than I like the Eagles tease, but I had to find another teaser to go with my Seahawks one that's coming up later. And that was one I think is probably the next best one that I like.
Yeah, you're double dipping a bunch on this, huh? It's interesting. The 2 teases are double dipped. We'll get to the second one later, but I don't hate either of those. I do think Philadelphia will probably win by a touchdown. Washington got embarrassed last week, so I do think there will be a righting of the ship, and Philadelphia handled business. So,
I think it's very rare that division games end up as like multiple score differences, right? Like double-digit victories. That doesn't typically happen in division games. I don't have any facts to back that up, but it feels right.
So 100%, 60% of the time it works 100% of the time.
That's right.
Whatever, I fucked that up. Sorry. Let's go to Minnesota at Carolina. Danny, what are you thinking for this one?
I think it's time for Cousins to get a win, man. I think Carolina hasn't been all that good. I'm just ready for Minnesota to get a dub. I know they're on the road here. I'm with you. I'm literally just ready for Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins to get a win. They're not playing. I mean, they're playing well, but they're not getting wins. Is the best way to describe it.
I am absolutely 100% with you. Laying 3.5 with the Vikings in Carolina. That Carolina field is a bear when it gets cold, but it's not cold there yet. So the Vikings don't have much to worry about on that front. As far as field conditions are concerned, as much as I dislike the Vikings, which they're like lovable losers as far as like division rivals go for me. I more dislike the Bears and especially the Packers, but the Vikings, I'm sick of the slander they're getting. Everyone was talking about how lucky they were last year, how they went 11-0 and won 4 games, and how they're already 0-2 or 0-3 or whatever they are in 1-score games this year. Yeah, and it's like Okay, it's not. They're not going to go 0-11 this year, but so this may be a one-score game, but they'll come out on top and they'll cover.
I hope
That's my
so.
thought.
They've also played tough teams like the Eagles. Tough team. The Chargers
tough team.
really needed that win last week, like
Yeah.
badly, and then they still had 2 shots to win on the goal line at the end of the game.
And then the
couldn't
Packers was
convert
the
either
other
of them.
game they lost too, right?
No, the Bucks, I think, was the
Oh,
other
maybe.
one.
That is a stinky one to lose.
And Baker just was, Baker Mayfieldy. Like it was a stinky game, but
Yeah.
All right,
So
let's kick it over to Houston. What do you say? Where we got Pittsburgh going into Houston, and you got D'Amico Ryans just looking at C.J. Stroud, thinking you're the best thing to ever be mine because he's played so well early this year. That's 8.
Skipped a couple, but bing.
What do we like on Houston and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so Andy's taking Houston +3, and I really think on its face, the Texans as home dogs is going to be a good play this year. But I think this is in a game where this is an exception. The Steelers' defense is really, really fucking good. I'm laying 3 with the Steelers. TJ Watt, I think, is tied for the most pressure, like the highest pressure rate in the NFL. CJ Stroud is a rookie. He looks really good, but I don't know how much pressure he's faced yet. I think the Steelers can do a really good job getting under his skin, rattling him. And without CJ Stroud on point, I think this is a feckless offense. So I'm laying the 3 with the Steelers.
I like it. I think this is going to be a really fun game. I don't think Pittsburgh is overly good. I think Houston's a little bit of false hope, but I'm excited to watch where the future holds because even the young receivers, the Tank Dell, do you know who Tank Dell is? No one knew him 3 weeks ago. Everyone's talking about Tank Dell.
Everybody was talking about Nico.
Nico Collins. Everyone's talking about Nico Collins. They're talking about that fullback that ran a kickoff return, 85 yards the other day against Jacksonville. There's a lot of talk about Houston. I love it. I'm here to watch it, and I hope it gets better.
Tank Dell didn't even have to move.
I think this is.
He's University of Houston.
Drafted by Houston.
Yeah, he was University of Houston.
I think Al's on the right side here because basically Mike Tomlin is going to get 9 or 10 wins somehow. And if you're going to get 9 or 10 wins somehow and Houston's on your schedule, you're going to win that game. So we're looking between
9 or 10 sounds a little high, but 7 or 8, they're going to get there, I think.
Yeah.
And
he's never been under 500 in his life, so 9 is
fair.
like the number that So like I guess 8 and 7 he could. What is 17 games, whatever it is? 9.
Yeah,
right?
so it'd have to be 9 and 8 or 8 and 9.
Yeah, he's gonna get 9 wins. So anyway, he's gonna win this game. So basically, our loss ratio on this bet is 2 points because I know that he's gonna win this game.
Okay. Yeah.
But I didn't bet it. Yeah.
All right, we got Vegas going into the Chargers. It looks like the Chargers are a 6-point favorite. Al, what are you thinking?
Yeah, this one feels real ugly. I'm gonna take the 6 points with the Raiders, and I don't like it, but it's one of those Raiders didn't cover and the Chargers did. So when that happens, unless it's feels like a real travesty, I'm gonna bet those more times than not, and 6 points is enough to where I think the Raiders can keep it within that and still lose.
I think Devontae Adams has a Q on my fantasy thing. I don't know if it changes your pick.
Devontae Adams is who cares? It's also practically.
I feel like that fucking Raiders, matters right? If you're betting the Raiders.
Well, Q's don't matter. Questionable means they're going to play.
Okay.
D's matter.
D's matter.
He's not a D.
You like Imagine Dragons? Let's go to the Patriots at the Cowboys. Cowboys are a 6.5-point favorite. I haven't talked about a pick in a while. I love this pick. I know the number is smaller than it should be because of the Cowboys' weird game against Arizona last week, where they lost as a 12-point favorite on the road. That
You mean
happens.
the game where the NFL decided that there was absolutely no way that Arizona can get caught for tanking, and they forced them to make the refs to let them win?
You mean the game where we talked about
that
last week that Josh Dobbs may be too good in order to tank as badly as Arizona wants, right? We talked about this, and Josh Dobbs played great.
Sure, we did.
We said that last week.
Yeah, but
Boy,
nobody out there thought that Arizona's defense was too good.
No one did. No one did.
And
Yeah, that's the referee.
Arizona's defense is still not too good. And come on, Pollard couldn't break a run against Arizona.
This was
that was a shady game.
Quintessential any given Sunday game, right? Where you're like, everyone had that one chalked up as a Cowboys win for sure. Like, don't even need to watch it. And then I was like, oh, they're down a score, and it's like late in the first half. I'm like,
I had it on.
They're still down a score, and it's in the fourth quarter. It's like, all right, you're just waiting for them to score, and then I forget what happened, if Arizona hit like a deep ball or they got like a pick six or something. But they scored to go up by like double digits.
I'll tell you what happened.
I was like, oh,
anytime Dallas did anything positive, a yellow flag came out. And anytime Arizona did anything wrong, a yellow flag came out.
Okay.
I'm throwing flags here.
Conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory. I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah. Dallas, lay the 6.5. Love the 6.5. I love it here. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes and lay the 6.5. 9.
Honestly, I think that Jerry traded that game for this game. I think that he just went to the other owners and he was like, guys, we can't have tankers in this league. So I will pay the refs to go against me but you got to give me the next two.
Listen,
you gotta let me cover the next two.
I would absolutely believe a conspiracy theory where the owners get together for a poker game and bet results of their games. Not all games, but a game.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't bring enough cash with them to the table, and you gotta stake something, and they bet the result of their game versus the other owners.
Pay your refs to let me.
Yeah. Make it happen.
I love it. I love that being the
situation. I also love the idea of Ed Hockley being the dealer at these poker games.
He's hucking cards at you, hurting you as they hit you in the chest. Like, God, Ed, take it. Do you ever do leg day, or is it always biceps and forearms?
Nothing but biceps for Ed.
Their poker visors have lowered visors to block their faces from 100-mile-an-hour playing cards. That's a stupid joke.
He's
going.
Essentially Gambit from the X-Men, just flinging cards through you.
So yeah, we're all on the Cowboys.
Friggin' Gambit.
So yeah, Matt, Danny, and I are all laying the points with the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's laying the points with the Cowboys.
Arizona, San Francisco are playing. Don't overthink it. Just bet.
Just don't bet it. It's a lot of points. They're probably going to cover it.
They have a 2-touchdown spread. That's fucking crazy for an NFL game.
It's huge in the NFL.
You know what's going to happen? A lot of smart people are going to tell you to take the points, even though they're super stinky, and it's not going to hit.
I would lay them if I was going to do anything here.
Yeah.
Double-digit dogs at home. I love laying the points. Double-digit dogs at home. I love taking the points. When they're double-digit dogs on the road, it's not a good sign. Usually they get that.
Yeah, I'm sick
so
of losing.
I did not live bet the Dallas Arizona game last week because I could just feel something fishy in the air and I wanted to watch it play out. This one, I'm gonna if Arizona returns the opening kick for a touchdown, I'm laying the account.
On the money line or taking the live spread?
No, on San Francisco -6 or minus 10, whatever.
Whatever the live number becomes.
Once it moves
I thought you were
down,
going to say that the game's been rigged and the Cardinals are going to cover.
No. If Arizona brings the opening kickoff back, or they accidentally score, if Dobbs accidentally scores a touchdown on the opening drive, and the line goes from 14 down to 10, I'm I'm all in on this because they're going to beat them by 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. But
Remember in week 1 when everyone was saying to take the Steelers against the 49ers?
Yeah,
What idiots. What idiots.
Was that you?
Probably me, but also like.
Oh, I did it for
people.
sure.
Yeah.
I talked about it a lot. And boy, was I a big dumb guy.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, guys.
we've been waiting all week for Sunday night.
Hell yeah, you have been. We got Kansas City going into Gotham. This is the first time I believe that Pat Mahomes has played at New York or played in New Jersey. I'm sorry, at either the Giants or the Jets away. So that's an interesting little bit tidbit. One of the most surprising things in the NFL to me this year has been Kansas City's defense. They've always been okay. They're playing really well this year.
Not game one, but then they brought back
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones, yeah. He's awesome, and the whole defense is rallied around him, and they're playing great.
Yeah. Turns out he was it's well worth holding out for. So
yes, and well worth paying.
The money.
Worth paying. Yeah.
Pay the man, pay him.
Pay that man his money.
And the Jets have a very good
Rounders.
Yeah, baby.
Dude, I mean, our demographic is basically our age, so they'll all get it. But like, no kids will get that.
Teddy KGB, baby. It doesn't matter. It's a great line. Great movie.
Yeah, great movie.
The Jets also still have a very good defense, even though Robert Saleh is thinking to himself about Aaron Rodgers. It's a cruel summer with you. That's 10. I did it. Under 43, based on both sides having a good defense and only one side having a good offense. Under 43.
I would rather lay the 9.5 or 10. Is it 9.5 or 10.5 now?
It's 9.5. I don't really love laying that on the road. I get a little nervous when it gets close to double digits on the road.
The reason that I am not laying the 9.5 officially is because of Sauce Gardner and Sauce Gardner alone. That's literally the only reason.
Yeah, he's scary. He's scary,
so
dude.
good. They don't have a lot of weapons on offense, and he can basically shut down one of them, and you don't have any others. Like, what are you gonna do?
Kelsey?
It feels like.
Sauce isn't a one side of the field corner. Like, if they decide to let Sauce guard Kelsey, which
wow, that would be fun.
Kelsey's big, but if they want to do that, like they could. I don't know. I don't think their coach is that badass, but he could do it. Sauce could do it if he wanted to.
This feels like to me the kind of game where you should bet like $500 on the Chiefs spread and the under, and hope that you middle it because you're probably not going to lose both of those, right? Like either if the Chiefs cover, it may still go under because it might be like 30 to
Guys,
like.
I just want to let all of our listeners know this is a side thing on top of what I was saying is don't do that because you basically just paid the VIG.
Right. But I mean, I'm saying paying the VIG is worth the
chance of winning both.
Likelihood of winning both, right? Like basically, I don't think this game goes over and the Chiefs don't cover. You know what I mean? I don't think the Jets are going to score 20 points.
Yeah.
So, as somebody who is a seasoned gambler, then we bet the Jets team under.
Yeah, that's probably the play there. Either way, I still like the under in this game. I haven't been overly impressed with Kansas City's offense in any scenario, but yes, Jets team under is fine as well.
Matt's right on the under 43, probably on this play. If I were betting it, I would have gone the Chiefs lay the 9.5. But Matt's probably right. Which
you could probably get alt lines close to even money and eliminate the big and just have a smaller window. That's just something fun. I'm just thinking.
You want the Jets to? I'm sorry. You
take like the Chiefs like -12,
-14,
under 40.
Got it.
Or something to where your window is smaller to hit both, but you're not paying big if you split them.
But then you're more likely to lose both.
Yes. Yeah.
Anywho,
I'm gonna
which is basically the same thing as
I'm gonna talk so much shit when the Chiefs win this game, like 31-3. And if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna pretend like this never happened.
This conversation never happened. But you know what did happen? I'll drink a beer.
All right.
We got Seattle going into New York.
what'd be great?
Next night.
I'm the only person who ever remembers to give out their chuggies like consistently, and I just can't fucking win a chuggy bet.
Al, you
I
have
can't
them, so
fucking
you
win
can-
one.
All right,
you
Danny,
can-
drink a beer.
Yeah, there you go.
God
You
damn
can. I was like, we can play beer tennis, or you can just cast it in the middle of the net. We got Seattle.
The
going
Seattle
into
teaser's a good play, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pair this up. So I had a teaser earlier on the Rams. I am gonna pair this up with Seattle teaser. I can't believe Seattle's a dog in this game. That's shocking to me. The Giants have not played overly well outside of a weird game in Arizona. Weird games are happening in Arizona, Danny, to your point. Very strange games are happening in the desert. Maybe it's just the heat. Maybe the heat wears out the referees where they do crazy ass things. I do want to bring up a quick question of, is Pete Carroll better than Bill Belichick? Now ride with me on this.
Yes.
Bill Belichick without Tom
No.
Brady is 10 games under 500. Pete
Dog
Carroll
shit.
always has a revolving door of quarterbacks, and everyone was shitting on Geno Smith, and they're still good.
Pete Carroll does not always have a revolving door of quarterbacks. His quarterback was Russell Wilson, who was one of the better quarterbacks of all time while he was in Seattle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He has
how
had
is he-
no other
how's he
quarterback
doing
other than him or Geno Smith.
Danny,
Matt
let me
Flynn.
ask you this. How much
Fucking
How
come
good-
on. It was like
how
one
good was
game.
Geno Smith? How good was Geno Smith when he was not in Seattle? Very bad, right?
He was
how good
fucking
is he in-
awesome.
How
in
good is
West
he
Virginia.
in Seattle? Very good. How good was Russell Wilson in Seattle? Very good. How good is he in Denver? Very bad.
That's like saying how good was Russell Wilson in NC
No,
State? Not
like
that
saying-
good.
it's
But
like
how good
saying-
was Russell Wilson in Wisconsin? He was
It's like
awesome.
saying how good was Tom Brady in New England? Very good. How good was Tom Brady in Tampa? Very good.
Very good.
It's almost as if the quarterback made Belichick look better than he is, and it's almost as if Pete Carroll made his quarterbacks look better than they are.
No, it's almost as if Belichick and
I'm
Brady
sorry,
made
I
each other look
misspoke.
good,
It's
and then
exactly what I
Brady,
just said.
at
It
the end of his
doesn't look
career,
like that. It is that.
chose the perfect spot for 2 years, despite poor coaching. Because Bruce Pearl, I mean, come on, not
Like-
Bruce Pearl. What
like
the fuck?
The
It's
best
not Bruce Pearl. What was that coach's name that looks like Bruce Pearl?
I wish it was Bruce Pearl walking around in an orange
He's
Tennessee
a big
jacket.
guy. He's a big guy. It's not Bruce Pearl though.
I wasn't thinking. I wasn't listening. I
Yeah,
was trying to think of
Wisconsin.
No. Tampa Bay's coach.
Bruce Arians.
Bruce
Oh,
Arians.
Bruce Arians.
There we go.
Booze nose.
Yeah.
Old gin nose. Either way,
I got a
Seattle-
little of that going on. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick's best defense is the 1 year he went 10-6 with Matt Castle.
You know who won the AFC East that year? Chad Pennington and the
Chad.
Dolphins.
Fucking Penny.
Can't even win a division without Tom Brady.
Honestly, soft.
Pathetic.
He
You know
sucks. And Pete
what
Carroll's
the
great.
you know what the bullshit is about saying his terrible record without Tom Brady? He was coaching the fucking Browns for 3 of those years.
What are you gonna do?
You're
Kick
bringing
those
in
out. His
Browns
record
records.
still sucks.
His quarterback was fucking Tim Couch or some shit.
Hey, it was drafted high.
Wasn't he also like
I don't know what to
making
do with that
decisions on
statement.
who they had on their team then? I don't know, maybe not.
Can we get back to the conversation? Pete Carroll's a boss. Geno Smith's playing great under Pete Carroll. Tease that shit to plus 7.5. Pair it up with the Rams.
Quarterback. Who the fuck would say that? He's had 2 quarterbacks. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Also, I'm being that guy who's laying 1.5 with the Giants at home.
Okay.
So I'm doing that. I'm teasing the Seahawks.
I like
and
it.
I'm
I like it.
also
I like
taking the Giants.
No. Middle that shit, bud.
Yep.
Love it.
I have no faith in the Giants. What I've seen from them. It's important to note here. Seattle.
They let
Andy
Daniel
is
Jones
also-
run the last 2 weeks, and they're playing better.
Oh yeah, no, I know they're playing better, but Andy is also taking Seattle on a teaser here. So for a teaser recap, we've gotten through Monday night. Al is teasing Philadelphia to minus 2.5 and Seattle to plus 7.5. He's also taking both of the other sides of that line. So he's in for an adventurous day. Andy is teasing Green Bay to plus 7.5, Miami to plus 8.5, Baltimore to plus 8.5, Tennessee to plus 8.5, the Rams to plus 7.5, Seattle to plus 7.5, right? Slow that down, listen to it again, like, comment, share, do all that stuff while I just said that. And then get whatever you'd like. I am teasing Seattle and the Los Angeles Rams together as far as the teaser replay. Good. We got through that. Boys, what are your chuggy bets?
Ooh.
Mine's my double unit bet, the under on Thursday night.
Under 45.5.
Man.
And
Danny
I
loves
really
unit.
want to bet my chuggy bet to be the Cowboys minus 6.5, but no, it has to be the double unit bet. So we got to do it.
Al, what you got, buddy?
I think it's going to be Vikings minus 3.5.
Vikings minus 3.
Love that one too.
I am going to be the person who chooses Dallas laying the 6.5. I love that bet.
Great
Let's
bet.
make it a chuggy bet. Anything else you boys want to go over? You want to talk about Tyler Fast or whatever his name is again, or are we good?
No, I just I'm so glad that his career is finally going to take off while he's dating a tight end that wins Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Best
of luck to them.
I'm
gonna pick Andy's chuggy bet for him. By the way.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Miami and Seattle teaser.
Okay.
I'll pick Chris's chuggy bet for him, which is going to be the under as well with me. Because I know he's going to take that under.
Perfect. So Dallas, the Lions under, the Vikings, and then teasing Seattle and Green Bay. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if that's what Andy would pick, but that's what I would pick
either.
out of his picks. So let's give him one.
So we gave you our best bet. We talked about Taylor Swift. We peppered in 10 Taylor Swift lyrics. You guys have had it all.
Who?
Please feel free to Tyler Swift lyrics into our podcast. We're trying to inform people of this person. Great musician. Hopefully things will happen good for this person.
Hopefully the Kelsey brothers can have her on their podcast and she can blow up.
Promote her SoundCloud.
You did, all bullshit aside, you saw the Kelsey brothers had the #1 podcast in America today because of that.
That's fun.
It's ridiculous.
The
Good
Swifties,
for them.
They are a rabid.
When do you guys get divorced and start dating Taylor? Because I like my wife, but
I'm gonna probably pass. But
yeah,
damn it,
no go.
We need to get a single guy.
You
on
talk
the pod.
to Taylor. You talk to Taylor first, then we'll find.
Are any of our listeners single? Are any of our listeners single? Is Kent single?
Yeah.
All right,
I think.
Kent, this message is for you. We need you to date Taylor Swift.
Step 1.
Then get her on our podcast.
Find her. Track her down. Okay? Do not stop.
Be relentless.
Kent's handsome enough. I know that is a fact.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to our nonsense today. It's been a particularly dumb podcast, and we're glad to have you with us. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. We love y'all. And good night, Joey.
Yeah.
Good night, Matt.
Good night, Matt. Good night, Lee. Got extra listeners.
Good night, Kent.
We're blowing up. I'm going to go make me a Cesar salad.
Oh, Kent, go find Taylor Swift today. Do it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't take no for an answer.
Take no.